Okay, right, well, welcome to our little podcast, and this is just about facilitation for SWOT toolkits. So, my name is Claire Cunnington, and I am the researcher who works on the SWOT toolkits. And do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, of course. Hi everyone, my name is Michaela Rogers. I'm a senior lecturer in social work. I'm also the project lead for the SWOT Toolkit project.
Okie doke. And do you want to just explain what SWOT actually stands for?
Yeah, so social work online, team training toolkits. The emphasis on the team, because that's really important in terms of what we're talking about today.
Yeah.
And the SWOT toolkit is a CPD model that is based on peer learning, learning with others, and critical reflective practice.
Okay, so what we're going to cover today is we were just going to talk about what the kind of role is of the facilitator and sort of talk through that. So I guess the first thing that I wanted to ask you is how would an organisation go about choosing a specific toolkit?
Okay, so it wouldn't be the organisation per se. It might be the team or the team facilitator, the team manager. I would suggest that they have a look at the catalogue and decide together what they want to study in terms of their CPD activity, because there are 13 toolkits on various different topics, and the topic needs to be relevant to the team. It needs to be something that people don't have expertise in, or not all members of the team have expertise in. It's quite useful if some members of the team have more knowledge on the topic than others, because as part of the SWOT toolkit activities they will be getting together and discussing their learning and sharing their own knowledge and sharing their kind of previous experience, etc.
Fab. So do you want to just explain what's the structure of the toolkit? So what's it made of, comprised of?
So each toolkit has 3 components. There is some online learning for the individual team members or group members to do, and then there is a case study or case studies that accompany each toolkit. Each toolkit is themed. So I'll talk about your toolkit on disclosures of childhood sexual abuse. So there will be 2 case studies that go with the online learning. One that is relevant to children and families practice, and one that's relevant to adult social care. And then the third component of a toolkit is facilitator guidance, and that's really important because that is support, a resource for the facilitator to use in the second activity. So after all those individuals have done the online learning, then the group or the team gets together in a critical reflective supervision session facilitated by a team manager, an advanced practitioner or workforce development lead, whoever it is who's kind of supervising that group or that team, and they will apply the learning to case studies. And then the facilitator guidance notes, that third component, is used by the facilitator, the team manager, to guide that discussion, to really engender the application of learning from the online learning, but also to ensure that the group are enabled to sort of get into a deeper level of learning rather than that surface level.
So it's got sort of prompts about the law, about the facets they need to think about, that sort of thing.
Yeah, so it'll be those Q&A. So the guidance notes, generally they will have little question prompts for the facilitator to use with the group, and then it'll give a kind of an answer. So the question prompts will be, as you say, around law. It might be around some of the theory that was included in the online learning. But they are kind of rooted in applying the learning to the case study. So it will refer to the case study, individual or family. And it might be questions, excuse me, my voice is going. It might be questions that help the group or the team to think a little bit more about some of the barriers or challenges in practice in applying that learning.
So do the facilitators have to stick rigidly to the case studies as we've set up, or can they adapt them to the specific team?
Yeah, they could absolutely adapt them. In fact, we know one team that has used a couple of our toolkits, and they've adapted the case studies that we provide to be more specific and relevant to the work of their team. So they use the resources, but they just tailored it a little bit to make it more relevant, which is really brilliant because it shows like innovation in using the resource that they have. The point of kind of producing the case studies and the facilitator guidance is to help applying the learning from the online module. Now, if that means that the facilitator has to do that kind of little bit of moderation, brilliant. You know, that only means that learning will be more meaningful and relevant to the work of that team.
Fantastic. So when it comes to the facilitator then, can you just talk me through like the kind of administration? What do they need to do along the way of the process of getting the training going?
Yeah, absolutely. So that facilitator will get the login for the SWOTT Toolkit platform. So everything is on one website. So there's just one login for everybody. So there's no need to set up accounts. It's all very straightforward. There's just one login and one password. And we've set it up like that just to keep things simple so that people don't have to put in personal information. They don't have to, they can't actually put any information on the website. It's just a place where the resources are hosted. So the team manager or the facilitator, whoever that is, will give their team the login details and they'll give them a time frame, say a couple of weeks, complete the online learning, and then they'll have a date in the diary to get together as a group to do the group critical reflective activity. And so they're setting the parameters, they're setting the time frame. Also, what I would advise the facilitator to do is actually just put a little half hour on the end of the case study session so that the practitioners can then go off and log on to their Social Work England website, complete their reflection for the CPD portfolio. And the beauty of the design of the SWOTT toolkits is that there's two activities in learning. So there's the individual online learning and there's the group discussion, and that is the peer learning activity that we need to do for our annual registration every year with Social Work England. Obviously, we are piloting the SWOTT toolkits outside of England, but similarly, other people in the UK, other practitioners, will have regulatory requirements for CPD. So, as we know, it pretty much covers those off as well.
Okay, fantastic. So I think kind of to sum up then, what we've tried to do is with the toolkits is create training that for the person who's delivering it, we've tried to do as much as possible for them, but also give them the chance to adapt it to their own team or organisation. So hopefully people will find it useful. And we'd be interested to hear how you feel about it if you have a go and you be the facilitator. And if anyone's interested, just contact us at SWOTT.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right.